listening to Crystal Clear Lore, a Wormsong production. In the drought-stricken village of Red Hollow, the earth had long ago become a cracked skull under the merciless sun. All that was left of the river was bleached stones and dust. The village children cried with their throats dry and rough like sandpaper. Fields that once fed 3 valleys now yielded nothing but brittle husks. Thorn Blackwood, the largest and most stubborn man in Red Hollow, called the council together on the night of the Taurus moon. His neck was as thick as an ox yoke, his hands calloused from clinging to every acre of his ancestral land.
"We must no longer beg from the sky,"
he growled.
"We should summon what the old tablets speak of, the bowl of heaven. It will bring rain. It will make the ground plentiful again."
The villagers, hollow-cheeked and desperate, agreed. They scraped together anything they could for their last offerings. Jars of precious oil that smelled of jasmine, wilting, night-blooming flowers, and the prettiest woman among them, young Lila with her olive skin and heavy dark hair, adorned in tatters of once lovely silk scarves. Thorn himself led his finest bull to the dry shrine, slit its throat, and let the blood soak the parched clay. They pulled the tablets out from the shrine and chanted the forbidden words as the moon swelled full and golden. The air began to thicken with the scent of fertile loam and something sweeter, almost sickening. A bellow answered, low, patient, like thunder rolling through soil rather than sky. The ground trembled violently. Something large and ethereal fell from above. It landed on the cracked earth and stood before the villagers. The bowl of heaven. It was colossal, larger than any bowl they had ever seen. It was as white as bone, with horns curved like crescent moons carved from lapis. Its eyes were polished obsidian, empty, ancient, and wise. Its breath reminded the villagers of blooming gardens and warm, heavy fruit. At first, the villagers wept with joy. Some even fell to their feet, praising the gods for such a blessing. A soft mist fell, smelling as sweet as honeyed milk. Seeds long thought to be impotent that had been laying in the dust started to stir as green shoots pushed through the clay. The bull walked away from the villagers, but it did not leave. Overnight, the mist turned cloying. Crops swelled with remarkable ease, stalks thick and heavy with grain. But when the villagers began to try to harvest, the stems burst into choking golden pollen that burned their eyes and lungs. Any remaining livestock grew feverishly fertile, birthing twisted litters of calves with too many legs and eyes that stared too long. The animals refused to be touched. They lowered their heads and charged anyone who came near, trampling fences and owners alike. Worse, the earth itself began to grow stubborn. Once a person planted, watered, or simply stood too long claiming a patch of soil, their feet began to sink. Not deep at first, just enough that pulling free required painful effort. Thorn had felt it the strongest. He had insisted on leading the right to protect his land. Now, every dawn, his boots pressed a little deeper into the red clay of his fields. He told himself it was nothing. He was Taurus-born. He did not yield. Lila, his wife, changed the fastest. The sensual tribute she had offered seemed to mark her. Her skin grew softer, warmer, almost feverish. Her curves ripened like overwatered fruit. Lush, heavy, impossible to look away from. Thorn found himself obsessed with her, locking the doors at night and feeding her honey and cream by hand. She would smile with lips too red, whispering,
"Stay with me. The bull loves what is beautiful. It keeps what it loves."
At night, the village heard the bull's low breathing beneath their floors, as if the ground had lungs. Anyone who tried to flee discovered the roads ended in sudden yawning cracks, shaped like hoofprints.
What?
Entire families vanished into them, swallowed with a wet, earthy sound. The potter who shaped the most graceful vessels was found crushed beside his wheel, his hands fused into the clay he once loved. They were now blooming with unnatural flowers that smelled of rot. The girl with the sweetest singing voice was discovered in the fields, throat marked by the perfect horn prints. her final notes echoing as distant, hungry bellows. Thorn watched it all from his porch, unable to step off his land. His shoulders had begun to broaden painfully. His neck thickened further. At dusk, he sometimes caught his own reflection in a bucket of water and saw the faint shadow of horns curling from his brow. Sensual hungers twisted inside him. Endless craving for the taste of ripe fruit, the weight of warm flesh, the security of deep, unmovable roots. He told the remaining villagers, voice hoarse,
We asked for fertility. This is the price. The land demands its due. We endure.
But the bull circled closer each night. Its breath made the air heavy with jasmine and blood. Any villagers still alive grew roots from their ankles while they slept. Thin, pale tendrils that drank the tainted soil and fed something vast beneath. On the 7th night, as the moon rose again, Thorn stood in the center of his fields. His feet had sunk past the ankles. He could no longer feel his toes. Only the cool, patient grip of the earth claiming him. Lila stood beside him, her body swollen and beautiful in the moonlight, eyes vacant and shining like obsidian. The bull appeared at the edge of the field, massive and calm. It did not charge. It simply waited, breathing. Thorn tried one last time to pull free. Pain lanced up his legs as flesh tore, bone cracked, reshaping. He felt his spine lengthening, shoulders heaving into a powerful hump. A low sound rose in his throat. Not a scream, but the beginning of a bellow. The villagers, who still clung to their patches of ground, heard it and understood. They had summoned the bull of heaven to end the drought. Instead, the bull had brought something far worse. An endless fertility where nothing ever left, nothing ever changed, and everything beautiful and cherished was slowly, patiently consumed by the hungry earth. In Red Hollow, the crops still grew fat and heavy. The mist still fell sweet and perfumed. And beneath it all, the bull breathed on. Slow, steady, immovable. Forever.
Welcome back to Crystal Clear Lore. I'm Crystal Lance, and once again, we are back here with some random guy that I found one day.
She just keeps pulling these random people in, apparently, and this was me this time.
It's always you.
But she just said, do you want to push a bunch of buttons? They have lights on them.
They do have lights.
And so, yeah, I came in here and started mashing them all. Anyway, I think there's something to do with bowl. Like, not Red Bull. I need one of those, but
we need Red Bull.
A different kind of bowl. I would believe it's a astronomy-related one.
No. Everyone that knows about astrology just facepalms.
Astrology?
No.
Okay. I'm going to edit that out.
No, you're not. You keep that in there. You keep it in there.
I don't want to.
Keep it in there.
Okay. I know. I get those two mixed up in my head all the time. Astronomy, astrology.
Well, astrology is related to astronomy, but like...
Yeah, they kind of intertwine, right?
It's like a Venn diagram.
They have segs.
No. Well, I will say, so this one, if it wasn't made clear, we are talking about Taurus this week. So we're back on Zodiac.
If you didn't get the hint, I'm bad at this.
Yeah, but it's okay. You're good at those buttons.
So, okay, we actually have to talk about something today other than how goofy we are.
True. So the second Zodiac sign is Taurus. It comes after Aries, which we talked about last month.
Yep.
Taurus is like really simple etymology-wise. It's literally just Latin for the bull. It's very nice.
The bull.
Hey, the bull.
That's really nice. There's no complicated metaphors we have to have a bunch of discussion about first to understand.
Right. It's not the Iron Bull, if you get that reference, but that's exactly where my brain went because I played way too much Dragon Age.
Well, go ahead and explain the Iron Bull if you would.
The Iron Bull is a problem for me because I play way too much Dragon Age Inquisition, and if I don't romance the Iron Bull, then what am I even doing with my life?
Oh, boy.
If you know, you know.
This just became one of those podcasts.
He is voice acted by Freddie Prinze Jr., okay? It's not fair. It's mean. It's cruel.
What is this, 1999?
It's cruel.
Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Freddie Prinze Jr. voices the Iron Bull.
Is that a name drop now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm old.
You age us every time.
I know. So the
Velociraptor we saw last week was hanging out with the T-Rex we saw last week, and the dirt's brand new on Earth. It's a good time when you're old.
Don't get me started on how dirt is actually not that old. It's not a good idea.
That could be another episode.
So Taurus is represented by a bull, and its symbol is kind of like it's a circle, and it has like a little archway on it. It looks like a really crude drawing of a bull, like the circle being the head, and then there's like the upside down arch is kind of like the horns.
Yeah.
The sun is in Taurus from April 21st to May 21st. These dates on the Gregorian calendar, which again is the one we use, would actually translate to the second solar month.
Okay. That's in my months. It's February is the second month.
That's the Gregorian calendar for you.
Well,
Not the solar calendar. It's complicated.
I know.
It's a mess. Taurus is the fixed earth sign. So last week we kind of talked about, not last week, my bad.
The last astrology episode.
Yeah.
I got it. Astrology.
Hey, you did it.
Astrological. I have to remember that. Not astromaniacal. I don't know what that.
So there's 3 types of signs. There's fixed, there's mutable, there's cardinal, and then there's 4 elements, earth, water, fire, air. So a person born under a fixed sign are usually very hardworking, loyal, prone to stubbornness, and they're really focused on maintaining and finishing projects, right? They're really fixated on stuff.
I know this. I've been working with one for...
Too long.
It's the time's blending together, but about a week or so, maybe a little more now.
It's about 2.
There's no problem with that or anything, but the hard work and getting the shit done and hard-headed thing, when those mix, shit gets done. We'll just say that.
They do.
And so it can be overbearing to some people.
Tauruses are colloquially known as the builders because they're always building and they're always got like... It doesn't have to be building like woodworking projects or, engineering or something.
Just making things even creatively.
Yeah, just being a creative person, which, we talked to last month, the Aries episode, that we know 2 Tauruses, and that fits both of them, but in different ways, right? Both are very creatively building just stuff. They always have to be creating something.
Yeah, and it's like obsessive once it starts.
Oh, yeah, it totally is.
But it's good. I think that's the kind of people you need to build a world.
True.
And so at least to lead other people, if not.
They are known to be practical, grounded, and patient as well.
Not the ones I know. The patient anyway.
Okay, my best friend is a Taurus, and my best friend is the most patient, so don't even start.
Interesting.
I will fight you over my bestie.
I know a couple other Tauruses, I think, and they're not very patient all the time.
Well, it's a bull, right? Cows are usually pretty patient, but like they hit their limit.
Maybe just patient, but a short fuse.
No, because I would say big explosion. The charge happens.
Yeah, short fuse.
No.
They can get set off easy, but they are patient.
Patient and being set off easy are antonyms.
Oh my God, you and your Scrabble.
They're antonyms. What do you want from me? I read. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Back to Tauruses. They show an appreciation for the natural world and can always be counted on. They are very reliable people.
Oh, yeah.
Their ruling planet is Venus, which leads Taurus to hold a deep appreciation for the finer things in life, comfort, and physical pleasure in relationships that can only be attained through long-lasting and loving relationships.
Oh, okay.
This does not just mean sex.
Yeah, but intimacy is not just sex, but it's a big part of relationships.
Yes. I mean physical pleasure, like even just like those quiet, intimate moments where you're just cuddling, that's like a really big, important thing to them.
Yeah, like holding hands and just like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
A physical...
connection?
Yeah, well, just like a physical expression.
There we go.
Like outward showing through physical touch. Duh.
Fair. The sign follows the Taurus constellation that was first established by the Mesopotamians. Most of the Zodiac, Western Zodiac that we're talking about, have roots in Mesopotamia.
Okay. And if you don't know what that is, it's like really old Potamia.
That's terrible. It's like it's the, what was it called? You had 3 rivers.
A long time ago, okay? Yeah, the Euphrates, the Tigris, and I'd always forget the third one.
I do too. Anyway.
Euphrates, Tigris, and the Calabasas. I don't know.
It's like the cradle of life or whatever in the Middle East.
Put it in the comments. I'm tired, guys. You think I'm going to pull my phone out? It's on the other side of the house.
I think this might be a bit spicy of a thing, but I think it's kind of where Israel is.
It's like that area in the Middle East, right?
Yep.
Palestine
and all that.
Why can't I remember that third dang river? Can you Google it real quick?
I don't know what the river is. Because it's...
Just, you got a phone in front of you. I don't have my phone, or I would look it up.
You spell Euphrates. Euphrates? Oh, I spelled it right.
Euphrates.
Suck it. Okay,
So the Three Rivers was like I said, I always forget the third one, but was it the Nile?
Apparently it's the Nile, which seems weird to me, but that's just because there was so much.
I do remember like a history lesson or something where it's like don't the Tigris and Euphrates cross somewhere?
No, they make like a little, kind of. So they make what's called the cradle of life or fertility cradle or whatever. I forget.
Isn't it a crescent or something?
That's it, fertility crescent.
That one.
So that makes that's where like a lot of these, I would say a lot of the major religions kind of came from.
Okay.
The big three, as I dub them, Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, they all kind of start there.
Yeah, interesting enough.
They're the big three.
The big three. And they was always looking at the stars.
So they were the ones that called the Taurus constellation. Their original name was the Bull of Heaven or Heavenly Bull.
Well, I mean, like I said, they were staring at the sky.
Well, yeah, what else are you going to do?
They did it a lot. Well, back then, like I've said before, their sky had a lot more lights in it.
This is very true.
I want my sky to have more lights in it.
This is fair. Actually, we want less lights on the ground so we can see more lights in the sky.
I want my sky to have more lights in it, not the ground.
The Bull of Heaven actually has probably one of the coolest, I almost say not origin stories, but like it shows up in the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Oh yeah, that's one of the best origin stories.
So the Epic of Gilgamesh, for those who don't know, I think it's like the world's oldest literary fic.
Yeah, it's like the first hero's journey or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like the first like real something considered a story or something.
Yeah, it's a surviving literary work. So because it's written down, it's in Sumerian, it's definitely, I think it's the oldest one. If not, it's
probably just the oldest famous one.
Yeah, there might be
that I can
one.
think of.
But it was written on tablets because that's how they kept it back then, right?
And in cuneiform, right? Sumerian cuneiform?
Yes.
Because they were the first civilization to write anything down that we could find evidence of.
True.
At least that in the current mainstream accepted timeline, is as they organize it, the first civilization to start writing stuff down that was legible, other than cave drawings and stuff.
That we have evidence of. Yeah. If there's
Written
something
language.
else, then we don't have evidence of it. So.
Yes.
On tablet 6, the goddess Ishtar falls in love with Gilgamesh.
We just did Ishtar. Well, talked about Ishtar.
Did talk about Ishtar.
In the Easter Bunny episode.
A little bit.
And we also talked about the cuckoo, which was a previous episode last week, I believe.
That's true.
That's our current organized timeline. The crystal clear timeline. That's not very crystal clear in my mind.
So she seeks like his favor romantically. This can just mean like a romantic relationship. Maybe she's seeking him sexually. Something could get lost in translation, so it's a little vague on that.
A lot of that happens.
He rejects her because she has a really bad reputation of abandoning previous lovers.
How dare?
Yeah, how dare she to do that? But, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. She gets upset and angry because how dare he?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes to her father, the sky god Anu, to give her the Bull of Heaven so she can send it down to kill Gilgamesh.
Oh my gosh, it's a weapon?
Well, it's a thing. So Anu hesitates because sending the bull down would cause 7 years of famine.
It's always 7.
7's a really powerful number.
Was there just some ancient cycle we forgot about, and there's always something with 7?
7's a really powerful number because it's a lot of things. We'd have to have a whole episode on 7.
What am I talking about? It's a week.
We'd have to have a whole episode.
There's always been 7, like 7 days. Even in the Bible, the 7 days. And a week is something special, apparently.
Ishtar literally like throws a tantrum and threatens that if she does not get the bull, she will open the gates of the underworld and let the living be devoured by the dead.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, isn't she nice?
Yeah.
Anu gives in and Ishtar sends it down. It instantly causes destruction, even starts drying up the rivers.
Oh, God.
Like it like immediately starts problems.
That's great. That means they had like a drought they were just talking about in this story.
Yep. Only I made the story where I flipped it a little bit. I wanted it to be very fertile and very nature, and just the curse of fertility was too much fun to play with.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I never really kind of conceptualized it in my mind like that, as like how it would look.
That's fair.
And it was just kind of fascinating.
It was fun. Fortunately, Gilgamesh and his close friend Enkidu slayed the beast. So I'm a side note here. It's not very clear how close of a friend they are. Like they could just be best friends, right? They could be.
Besties.
But they also like kiss and embrace often. And because translation, they're like, is this...
Wasn't that a little more normal like a long time ago? Like, at least I'm just thinking of more like Greek times, ancient Greek times. It was just a lot more normal for even men to be affectionate with each other.
This is true.
And it wasn't even like considered homosexual or anything like that. It was just everybody, and even in Italy, you know, especially in Italy, in that kind of area, everybody would be kissing on the cheek all the time. They still do today.
That's true. That's
family thing. It's like I think they still do it now. I don't know. I've never been to Italy, but it's still kind of a trope anyway.
That's kind of why it's in this kind of like gray zone. Like also his mom, Gilgamesh's mother, kind of adopts Enkidu like as a second son type thing. But I'm like, that could be a son-in-law relationship. This could be, you know, maybe they're just that close of friends. Like it's very hard because we don't fully have a grip on the Sumerian culture.
Yeah, they didn't. They must not have wrote a lot down about that.
So it's...
Or they did, but we can't understand it necessarily in context.
Yeah, we just don't have certain contextual clues. So it's just what it is.
And then also, no matter what it says or they did, we would just filter it through our societal norms anyway, and it would make us feel a certain way or another.
Right.
So it could have just, it's whatever.
I will say, if they are like homosexual together, they also have a very open relationship. Because there's a lot of things about like Gilgamesh and Enkidu both having sexual relationships with females.
Like multiple partners?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, maybe relationship dynamics were a lot different. So
it's one of those things. We just kind of have...
Yeah, there are a lot of cultures even today have, you know, very unfamiliar relationship dynamics to the West.
True.
So, you know, I'm not judging.
Nope, but it's just one of those things I was like, I know I put close friend in there like this, hey, heads up.
That
It's
could
a weird
mean
thing.
something
Could
not
mean
like
lot.
we think of it, is what you're saying?
Yep.
Okay, like
we're not
second, third base.
We're not sure.
Did they go? We don't know what base they stopped at.
Nope.
But you can use your imagination.
You can play with that. There are 3 Hellenic ties to Taurus. So there's Hellenic ties, there's Kemetic ties again, and there's even a decent Nordic tie to Taurus.
Here we go with the Nordic this time. A little bit of sprinkled in.
Yeah, I got everybody this time. Well, mostly.
Just a medley anyway.
So the first and most common Hellenic tie to Taurus is the abduction of Europa.
Oh, I think I've heard of this, but I don't know how much details I know about it, so I can't wait.
So I'm going to just preface this. In the Persephone episode a few weeks back, I said I don't like Zeus. I have a lot of problems with Zeus. This is one of those things that I just don't like Zeus about.
Okay, just a warning. If he really doesn't like Zeus,
like
so
Zeus.
there will be ranting.
I will try to not.
Bit ranty.
I will try to not. No guarantees.
Mm-hmm.
Europa was a beautiful Phoenician princess with whom Zeus fell in love. Love is in quotes because Zeus. So he transforms himself into a large white bull and approaches her while she's on the beach. She becomes entranced by the bull and ends up climbing on its back.
Most people run from bulls.
Yeah, well,
what kind of reality is this?
Zeus.
It's just a magic bull. He could have just been something that would have naturally entranced her, but he has to be a bull, and then he has to do magic or whatever.
Gets
I
worse.
just find it funny, so I'm just picking it apart. Not the story, but Zeus.
Once Europa is on his back, he just takes off and swims to the island of Crete.
As a bull?
Yeah, as a bull.
Can they swim?
Oh, well, I'm not sure. He's a god, so like I don't feel
That's
like...
why I'm just questioning Zeus's logic here as
I don't
choosing
know,
the
man.
bull, but we'll go with it.
We'll go with it. So she lives on Crete. She ends up having 3 sons, Minos, Rhadamanthus, and Sarpedon by Zeus.
Those are some names.
Zeus then honors the bull by putting the constellation in the stars, or at least just the first half, to show the bull's rear was submerged in the waters.
Oh, okay. That's fun. A fun retcon about the stars part, anyway.
It's a fun story.
I have a question though, because you're going to try to skip past it.
What?
But whatever happened to them sons? Because then normally you hear Zeus's other sons, but what happened to them? What's with these ones?
Hold on. Spoilers.
God dang it.
The second tie is to Io, another woman that Zeus fell for.
Oh, that's the moon of Saturn or Venus or whatever. Sorry.
Saturn.
Now my astronomy is off in my brain. Gosh darn it.
It's Saturn because...
It's one of Saturn's moons, yes.
Right? Saturn?
Saturn? Can you look at this
God,
up?
is it Saturn or Jupiter that is the...
That's what I mean. Jupiter, not Venus. God.
No, Venus is Aphrodite.
Yeah, I'm just my Freudian. My brain's turning off. I love space because I'm actually pretty good at this usually.
It's Jupiter. Jupiter
Thanks. But they're all blending together. I've had a long week.
Jupiter is the Roman equivalent of Zeus. So that's why one of the new moons is named Io. There's also a moon named after Hera and and Europa because it's all about the women that Zeus has.
Yeah, okay. Oh, it's like they named, that's kind of a nice tribute from humans to Zeus. To name the fucking moons of a distant world after him.
Well, thank God there's a lot of moons.
There sure is a lot of moons.
Because, God, that man cannot keep it in his pants. Anyway, fine.
Every man likes a good moon.
In this version, so in this tie, right, this story, Taurus is not a bull, but instead a heifer, like a female cow. Because Hera is getting sick and tired of Zeus being a cheating little cheaty slut.
He is a bit of a man whore.
A bit. Excuse you.
Maybe cosmically he's not that bad.
Zeus is the ultimate fuckboy, all right? I think we just all need to accept this.
Okay. I'm trying not to get smited.
I don't care. I curse. I just not curse Zeus, but like
I feel like since last time you cursed Zeus, we've been having some bad luck, okay?
Yeah, but we haven't had any fertility issues, so he can bite me. Actually, he'd be into that. Never mind, I take that back.
Oh boy, Zeus is a character.
Zeus,
so is Crystal.
Zeus turns Io into a heifer to protect her from Hera's wrath. There's a whole thing about why Hera goes after the women and not Zeus. That's gonna have to wait till the Hera episode. That doesn't fool Hera, though, and so she sent a gadfly to sting her.
Gadfly?
A gadfly. They're nasty.
Yeah, I think I've heard a little bit about them.
They're not nice. Io ended up traveling like a lot to just try to keep escaping the gadfly. She eventually does reach Egypt, and then Zeus restores her to original form just in time for her to give birth to their son, Epaphus.
Okay, I've heard of Epaphus.
Epaphus.
Yes, that's what I said.
You said Epaphus.
That's what you just said.
No, Epaphus. With a PH, not a TH.
Oh, whoops, okay. That sounds the same here.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
you couldn't tell
close.
the difference.
The last possible tie here to the Hellenic religion is the Cretan bull.
The Cretan bull.
Cretan bull. It's on
Fun
Crete.
story. I used to be a guitarist in a metal band, and we would always play at this place called the Cretan Hop.
Oh, interesting.
And so it just reminded me of that. I don't know. Fun story.
The bull was sent to King Minos, Zeus's son by Europa. So told you we'd get back to him.
Yep, always do.
By Poseidon, Zeus's brother, as an intended sacrifice. So Minos refuses, however. He's not going to kill this bull. And Poseidon curses... says, okay, look. I also don't like Poseidon. Okay?
She's got some gripes today, ladies and gentlemen.
Out of the main three male gods in the Hellenic thing, I only really like Hades. But listen, it's fine.
I think that just because of the Hercules movie.
No, but it's complicated. I love Hades. Poseidon curses Minos' wife, Pasiphae, to fall in love with it. The bull.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. Out of this disturbing union comes Asterion, which translates to the starry one. He's also the Minotaur, half bull and half human. So
I've heard of that.
Yep.
Is that the first one? That's the OG Minotaur?
It's the OG.
Shout out.
Because Poseidon's gross.
Look at all these origins today.
Poseidon's really gross. He was sent to live in a labyrinth that Minos created until Heracles captured it as his seventh labor.
The labyrinth?
The labyrinth.
Is this a famous labyrinth?
Yeah, it's the labyrinth.
The movie?
Oh my God, no.
No, it's not that labyrinth.
Oh, my soul just.
That's what I mean. I know I've heard of this labyrinth, but it's
the labyrinth, and I'm in pain from you right now. Okay, that's another episode. Okay, we're just going to delve into mythology. I think that's where we're going to have to go.
Isn't that kind of what we're doing?
Yep.
Slowly.
God, so much mythology is coming up.
Is that folklore?
Yes, kind of. Might be a little bit, but it's fine.
We'll twist it.
It's lore.
That's all that matters. Yeah, I guess crystal clear lore doesn't just mean folklore.
No, it means lore.
Everything's lore. There's lore on the floor and in the door.
I mean, honestly, probably is actually. I wonder if there's a reason we use. Anyway.
I think I'm fired.
And Kemetism, there is kind of I would say two asterisk ties, right? The most direct tie to Taurus would be the Apis bull. Apis bull, sorry.
Apis?
Apis.
Apis?
Apis bull.
Yeah, but if you were Apis, would you be racist against the apes?
There's no T on it.
Okay, well this is how we learn things. I can't. All I hear is you saying.
Fair enough.
No, it's just funny.
This is a sacred bull that was worshipped mainly in Memphis. We did talk about the Memphis Triad.
Not Tennessee.
No, Memphis in Egypt. Anyway, we talked about the Apis Triad or the Memphis Triad. I think I got me all messed up in the segment episode because segment's part of that. This would be, it's an actual bull with sacred markings, such as a triangle on its head or a crescent on its flank, were very two common signs that the priests look for.
That's probably the symbol most of people are familiar with when thinking about the Taurus, was at least the one with the crescent.
Yes. While it was alive, while the bull was alive, it was considered to be a living vessel of the god Ta. We briefly mentioned him in the Sekhmet episode. Again, that's episode 25. He's Sekhmet's husband. It eventually gets sacrificed. It's a whole ritual they do for it. Did for it, sorry. Maybe do. I'm not sure. It becomes...
You don't know if they still do it?
I don't think they do, but part of me kind of wonders if they would.
Well, maybe they do and maybe they don't. If anybody knows, put it in the comments.
But it then becomes an aspect of Osiris, god of death and rebirth. It would be mummified and entombed, so that way it could join the constellation in the sky.
I like the sky.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Got a lot of those cool dudes up there.
There are also 2 goddesses associated with cows in Kemetism. There is Nut, who is the goddess of the sky, and sometimes she'd be shown as a cow whose body made up the Milky Way. Gives kind of a...
Oh, Milky Way.
Milky,
I get
yeah.
it. Cow. Ha, ha, ha.
The main one that I think everyone thinks of cow goddess with Egypt is Hathor. She is the goddess of love and is associated heavily with the Dendera Zodiac because that was actually found in one of her temples. Now, the Dendera Zodiac is where we get the full body depiction of Taurus from because the Hellenics, as you remember, only had the front half be visible.
Yeah, because of the water.
Exactly. You remember things. Good job.
Yeah, sometimes I'm smart.
I should give you a pop quiz and just see what you remember.
I actually thought you were saying popcorn and I got excited.
No.
Quiz doesn't sound so good. Maybe quiz knows, but I think they're gone.
Now, for the Nords, things get different again for the Nords because they're not part of that area, the Middle Eastern area where a lot of this stuff comes from.
The cradle.
The Nile. It's all kind of the same range, right? Greece.
Yeah.
Mediterranean area. So they did not, they knew of the Taurus constellation, but they did not associate it with a cow. The Hyades cluster, kind of forms the V of the bull's face, was called Ulf's Kleptir, or the mouth of the wolf.
Oh, okay. That would make sense too.
And
as far as its shape.
Right, it does make sense. This was actually associated with Fenrir, Loki's son.
Oh, look at that.
Or Skol and Hati, who chased the sun and the moon.
Fun story. The only I don't have a lot of knowledge outside of that God of War game they made recently as far as the mythology for this. So I know Fenrir from that.
They did a really good job with that, but Fenrir is actually Loki's son.
Yeah, I don't know about who it was. I just remember Fenrir was in the game, and I loved him.
No, he's great.
He's a good boy.
He's the best boy. And then he goes through some things. I have issues with Odin too. That's just
so the lore from that was inaccurate. I'm pretty sure some of it might have been accurate, but mostly I just know the characters.
I will say most of it's very accurate, but they changed a couple things to make their story flow better, and that's completely fair and valid. It
was a wonderful story, but it made me at least familiar with the characters to a degree that I just wasn't familiar with before, other than what was portrayed mostly in the Hercules movie from Disney.
For the Greek part?
Yeah, I just saw, for most mythology, it's only really what I've been exposed to in some movies and shows and stuff. Yeah. I never dove deep too much into them. It's just, they're a lot.
It's a lot.
They're a lot, and there's too much metaphor, and it hurts my brain.
So the constellation was also a symbol of Ragnarok, right? Because I don't remember which one, if it's Skol or Hati that chased. So they chase the sun and the moon. I think Skol chases the sun. I could be wrong. I'm not a Nordic witch. Once Skol swallows the sun and Hati swallows the moon, that's when Ragnarok happens. So it's Ragnarok.
Yeah, there was a cool little animation. It was like a drawing on a scroll about it in the game.
Yeah. It's it's a literal, actual part of their mythology and their lore and their worship. So it's very cool.
That's one of the main things you hear about anytime even this lore is brought up. Is you're going to hear about Ragnarok. It's kind of like the central, not really the central theme of all of that, but it's a keystone part of it.
It is. So there's one more possibility here, but there's not a lot of records. And we don't have a lot of records from the Nordic religion because the Vatican. No, because
gosh darn it.
A lot of stuff wasn't written down, and then the Vatican moved in, and then what there was only left was you got the 2 Eddas. So thank God for Snorri Snorkelson. Otherwise, we would have nothing.
Snorri Snarlson?
Snorkelson.
Snorkelson?
Snorri Snorkelson.
That's a name.
Yeah, it is.
Nickname?
Nope.
Okay, probably
Viking.
have to come a deep dive on that later.
Due to the lack of records, so yeah, we don't have a lot of confirmation. But a lot of modern historians and practitioners usually tie Othumbla to Taurus. Othumbla appears in the Norse creation story, and she's a cow. And her milk was what made Ymir, that's what he fed from while he was a tiny little guy.
Oh, geez, okay.
And Ymir is like the father of all the Jotun. You remember Jotunheim, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the giants.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go,
Yeah.
The quote-unquote giants who aren't large size, but it's complicated.
It's kind of more like a bloodline thing or something, isn't it?
It's like a race.
Than like the general description of their size.
Yeah, the Jotun is giant, but it's complicated.
Yeah. Some people portray elves as little tiny guys, and some people portray elves as tall dudes.
Yeah, like Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Orlando Bloom.
I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to bring it up. You were thinking it.
Othumbla also licked salts for like 3 days during the creation, which revealed Brúhi, I think is how you say it. And that is Odin's grandfather.
Brúhi?
Brúhi?
What Brúhi?
No.
Ale?
No. Stop.
Come on.
I knew as soon as I said it, you're going to dad joke it up.
You know me.
Okay, so quick summarization. Taurus is the second zodiac sign. It goes from April 21st to May 21st, represented by the bull. They are wonderful people. You can rely on a Taurus, but holy crap, you are never going to get them to change their mind, ever.
Yep, once it's set in stone, it's there like the stars.
It shows up in the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is one of the oldest literary works that we still have to this day, we know about. There are pretty solid ties to Zeus in the Hellenic religion, and there are even like strong ties to the Apis bull in Kemetism. The Nords thought that it was made more sense to them to tie it to a wolf.
They like the wolfies there.
They do like the wolfies there.
I just think it's funny, just to go back to the Zeus thing again. It's kind of more of a symbol of him womanizing.
That's like Zeus.
From that story you were telling where it turned into the bull. He's just womanizing, of course.
All right, look, we have a hot take on Zeus.
Every take you have is hot on Zeus.
The entire Hellenic religion would be a lot easier if Zeus could just keep it in his pants.
Ooh, hot take. It's true, though, dude. The god, he just, oh, man.
He's a problem.
Just wait. I don't want to go too far into it because I will have a rant, and she will have a rant during the Zeus episode someday. So just wait for that one. We'll take up all your time on that episode with this.
That should summarize Taurus as well as I can. If you have married a Taurus, like my poor friend who has married my best friend, good luck with that.
How fun.
Is it fun getting them to change their mind? Because good luck with that. They're stubborn as a bull.
Maybe you can pay them.
No, they don't really care about money. Like they do, but they don't.
Maybe you can tickle them till they pee.
Unless like their project is money, then they might care. But like, not really.
Well, okay. True that.
Yeah. It's a thing. So that should make, as far as I can tell, that should have probably fried everyone's brain with the sheer amount of lore that I found on Taurus.
Yeah, I was expecting a bit less dense on this one, but it turns out actually no, it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, we got a lot of information.
I didn't realize it was going to tie that much into the other things, which we're going to be hearing a lot more of as we continue with the astrology.
Yeah, look at you go.
Series that we're kind of doing here. It's like a mini series almost, but not really because it's not like anything about this podcast is normal.
Ooh, I have one question for a little pop quiz.
Oh, pop quiz.
And I wanted to know if you know it.
I still wanted the popcorn more, but we'll go with it.
What is the next astrological symbol that you think we're going to be talking about?
I don't know because I actually have never memorized the order of the astrological signs.
Oh, you don't know which one is like May?
The third one, May.
May into June?
May to June.
It starts in May, like late May. It goes into June.
No.
You want a hint?
Is that a spoiler?
You want a hint?
Yeah.
It relates directly to you as a twin.
Pisces?
Nope.
Is that the opposite?
That's the fish.
Oh. What is it?
Gemini, the twins.
Oh, okay. Like I said, I don't know much about it, but I know the name Gemini.
Yeah, you should know Gemini.
I use the AI one all the time.
I forgot about that.
I talk to it. It gives me wrong answers, but at least it tells me I'm right when I give wrong answers. So it's just lovely. I wonder if there's any correlation to the sign and how the app acts. We'll see.
I'm
excited to find out personally.
I literally forgot that was what that was called.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have never actually thought about maybe the implications of how they named that. They're usually very intentional with their naming conventions. So I'm excited to see if I can figure out, since I use it so much, if there's any kind of thing there. Yeah.
That'll be our next astrological one. That will come out right before Gemini season.
Nice. So that's going to be great, I think. I'm excited. I like this little mini-series. I hope we can tie together some other kind of split but related lore to do these with. And if you guys like them, let us know. Hit the, go and like the videos more or something. I don't know. Or hit us up on, honestly, YouTube comments is the best.
We're also on IG.
But we are on Instagram. We are on, we don't really do a lot of social mediaing. I mean, what are we going to do? We're a podcast.
We try.
We're not an OnlyFans model.
We are not on TikTok anymore. TikTok is just being weird about letting us into the account. So.
Yeah, TikTok's weird. But yeah, we're on Instagram, and YouTube is our kind of main platforms, but we're out there on all the other ones to listen to. So whatever one you interface with and however it works with likes or comments or ratings, I would really appreciate it if you can go and kind of interface with that a little bit. That'd be really awesome.
It helps more than you know. Promise.
Yeah, plus I honestly, more than anything with the analytics, I kind of just want to get to know who's listening because you're not talking. So we kind of go off a broad like analytical spectrum to go, okay, maybe we have a British listener or maybe it's a VPN. So
yeah, it's true.
I just like to go with the happier version of that. So I'm going to pretend we have a British listener. Hello, mate.
That was the worst. Don't do that.
It's mate.
When we travel to Europe, I don't think you should talk.
But the only thing I wanted to kind of clear up here as a host to an audience is that you guys don't be afraid to chat with us, okay? You know how to use the internet. We're around. But chat with us. We're fine. We want to get to know you. We want to get to know who's listening and who likes it. And if you don't like it, tell us. Just someone talk to us.
Yeah, say
it's
why.
It's a ghost town out there. I see you're all listening. I got the numbers. But who's there? Hello? Is this thing on? So anyway, no, just be great to hear from you guys. Come on and give us your stories. That's really what I want from this.
Right. We would love to make a little community.
Because we're telling you already existing folklore. I want to know what you think about it. Your personal stories related to it. Maybe you've seen a cryptid. Maybe you're a Taurus. And you want to fight me about what I said, about patience, because you're not being very patient. I don't know. We would love to know. So yeah, guys, don't be afraid. YouTube comments, Instagram. The other one, if you know what email is, it is wormsongmedia@gmail.com. We have a whole thing at the end. It'll tell you how it's spelled. So
okay, and I hope that this made the constellation Taurus and the astrological symbol crystal clear.
Bye.
Bye. Follow us on Threads and Insta at Wormsong Media. That's WYRMSONG Media. Want to reach out to us? Email us at wormsongmedia@gmail. Again, that's WYRMSONGMEDIA@gmail.